Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for the match review of Fiorentina against AC Milan. Match I finished moments ago at the Artemio Franchi in Firenze. The final scoreline was 0-0. Fiorentina and Milan were unable to put themselves and therefore the match ended in a draw. Now, lots to talk about in today's live stream. Of course, going to be talking about the match in general. So make sure to leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below, as I will be throughout the live stream. Also, a friendly forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV if you haven't yet. We are about 40 subscribers away from 10,000. If you guys haven't yet and you would like to do so, please help us and click on that subscribe button. So let's talk about this game, guys. First of all, that let alone the circumstances at the end of the match, in which I will be getting into in just a few minutes. I think this is a very good point earned at the Artemio Franchi. I mean, frankly speaking, I wasn't expecting us to come away with a point at the Fiorentina home stadium. I think that we were actually going to lose this match. Not to sound pessimistic, but obviously speaking, Fiorentina is a better team all around. You can just take a look at it on paper, look at their midfield compared to ours. You could definitely tell that many positives compared to our midfield. And even though today they had many chances, they had a great deal of possession, unlike us, out pretty well. And we have to also give credit to the team in general, because we have earned 3 clean sheets in a row, something that hasn't happened since 2013 from what I've read. So that is definitely a positive sign to look at. We're definitely improving in terms of not letting the opposition score. 3 clean sheets in a row is a big achievement, in my opinion. And I think, once again, it's important that we came out with at least a point today at the Fiorentina Stadium. Now, speaking about the match in general, the first half was awful. It was very bad. I didn't like what Milan was doing. Many times I saw the whole team in general sitting back, not actually pressuring Fiorentina. And Fiorentina was given all the freedom in the world to actually create chances and obviously keep the possession that they deserved. So I think we risked many times to go behind in this game, especially in that first half, where I don't even think we had one chance in general. Fiorentina had many chances, and I think our defense was pretty shaky overall. Of course, Fiorentina got awarded a penalty shot in that first half, in which Ilicic missed as he hit the post, and that means that Donnarumma is still unbeaten from the penalty spot this season, and that is something to see there, because the right way, even though he admitted that he didn't get a hand on it or a finger on it, it's not Donnarumma still unbeaten from the penalty spot. I think that the defense in general was pretty weak. Many mistakes were being made by the defense. And I'm speaking about Calabria and De Scio. Of course, Calabria causing that penalty shot, De Scio being very weak, and I think Ilicic was getting the better of him every time he had the ball. Also in the middle, as a center back, Paletta, many times he was risking, actually. Many times he was grabbing him, and I think he was a bit lucky not to get any calls against him in certain circumstances. But generally, I'm happy, once again, that we didn't concede a goal. It was awful. I think we were actually giving way too much space to Fiorentina. They were creating way more than they were supposed to. But at the end of the first half, I was happy walking away with that 0-0 scoreline. Now, in the second half, this is the time in which I think we created many more chances overall. We finally had chances, even though we weren't able to put the ball in the back of the net. Aka has some good chances. Generally speaking, I think we played way better in that second half than that first half. still something wrong with this team that I don't like. Many times, the team was either way too long in terms of being apart from each other, and other times the midfield was playing way too close to the defense, even when we had to attack. They weren't given that opportunity to the defense to actually pass the ball to them a bit more forward and moving transitionally. I think they were playing way too close to the defense sometimes. And that actually restricted the defenders from making some accurate passes, as it was easier for Fiorentina to pressure the defense and not really allow Milan many movements. So on that note, I think we have to improve overall. I'm expecting more from the midfield. Obviously speaking, we don't have the type of midfielders that Fiorentina has, like I mentioned before. Expecting much from them, but we have to make some smart decisions overall. So as I said, we create many chances. I think that we deserve to put one in the back of the net, but same can be said about Fiorentina. I think Donnarumma came out big with some big saves sometimes, in which he actually had to keep his composure and make sure that Fiorentina weren't going to get on the score sheet. So once again, big credit to Gigio for making those saves. And overall, I think he clearly deserves another man of the match performance today. Now, I know many of you probably want me to talk about the referee. Now, I don't try to talk a lot about the referee. I try to focus on Milan. I try to review Milan's performance. But I have to say that the referee was absolutely terrible today. Now, I'm not only talking about that incident at the end. Obviously been a red card, a sending off for Tomovic. Now, looking at the replay after a few times, I have to admit that the foul was made. So I'm saying that wasn't at least supposed to give a penalty shot, but that is definitely a free kick outside the box and a red card for Tomovic. I don't know how you can't see that as a referee. You also have a linesman that's perfect man. Like that is just unbelievable for me. Now, I'm not only speaking about that event. I think many times the referee fucked up big time today. Also, many offside calls. Was actually free a couple of times. Bad decisions by the Lions. So at one point, I remember Fiorentina player picking up the ball when the ball wasn't even completely out. Now, that is intentionally touching the ball with your hand, and that in the rules, ladies and gentlemen, is a yellow card. What does the referee do? Just gives a free kick to Milan, and he tells everyone to carry on. Little things like that are what really made this performance outstanding. In quotations for the referee, I honestly don't understand really the difference between Calabria's foul in that first half, in which he awarded Fiorentina a penalty shot, and that foul committed to Luis Adriano at the end. I don't see where the difference is. So it's very embarrassing from the referee in general. But I have to say, at the end of the day, I'm happy with the result. A draw is a good point to pick up at the Fiorentina ground. Once again, for a match that Fiorentina dominated for the most part, happy with this point. And also because we are sixth place, tied with many teams. So honestly, this is not a bad start for Milan. We played tough opposition so far, such as Lazio, Napoli already. So it's good to see that we were able to put up at least some decent fights against these teams, besides Napoli, of course. But hopefully we'll continue on this road, and it's encouraging to see that we're not conceding many goals. So hopefully more goals come from our part, and we continue defending well and conceding less altogether. So it is time now to start reading your comments and give your comments out here on the air. So let's start reading them. Many people saying that we were robbed. First penalty was really cheap, And yes, and the Bush Sasso, yes, Niang has been looking so dead lately. Is it because maybe Montella is focusing more on Suso? Now, this is something I really wanted to speak about, so I'm very happy that you brought up Niang. I think Niang was absolutely awful today. I have to admit, I was not expecting this type of performance from Niang. Many times he looked uninvolved in the action. He was very predictable, very vulnerable to certain decision making. And overall, it was just poor decision after poor decision for Bayern Yang. I think that he deserved to come off in that second half, and I'm happy Monte to take him off because, honestly speaking, he had nothing to be proud of tonight. So hopefully he'll regroup. He'll do better altogether in the next few games. But really sure. I mean, I don't think Montella's focusing more on Suso. I don't think that's the problem with Niang. I think vigilant, more observant as well. Many times he's just thinking about himself and the play that's going around himself rather than the whole team in general. He improves on that aspect, but I'm expecting Yang to do better. He's had 2 rough games, but I think he could regroup and do better altogether. Vignesh says, I thought Montolivo did really well today. Quick passing and getting out of danger. Got to give him credit when he deserves it. Montolivo did play better in comparison to other games, I guess you could say. Still not to the level that a captain is supposed to be playing in. That is for sure. But he did some better things, but still some decision-making is very bad. I remember tweeting out on one instance that 4 or 5 Fiorentina players ahead of him, and he still tried to get a pass through to Niang when he had an open option to his left and to his right. He still tried to make that pass, and obviously, as you would expect, it was Fiorentina players. So, I mean, he still has to get better in decision making. He's playing closer to the defense. That is something that I've noticed. But sorry about that. As a captain, I'm expecting more from him altogether. So we'll see in the coming games. Gijo did very well today. He is world class for a player of such a young age. His composure is incredible. 3 clean sheets in a row. That's exactly what he deserved. Tip for Gio: can you translate the post-match interviews with Montella and other players? I could talk about it, but I could definitely not, because sometimes they don't come right away during the match review, so they come in afterwards. So it's something that I could try, but for example, like I'm reading it as we speak, Montella speaking about Paulo Sousa in his interview with Premium Sports. He says that he's a great Paulo Sousa is a great professional. He also says that there was a bit of courage missing in this Milan team today. We saw that Fiorentina was superior in the first half, like I mentioned. In the second half, Milan did better. Finalized 3 to 4 chances that we created. He also says they had more possession throughout the match, but that was mostly because of our choice. And that is exactly what I was mentioning before. It's like almost like we allowed them to freely and possess the match rather than us actually attacking them and pressuring them altogether. Moving on with your comments, guys. You think that was a penalty shot with Adriano at the end? Like I mentioned, you know, we got fouled, but it was outside the box. I have to be honest, I saw it many different times. I think that it was outside the box. It was a red card, but it was definitely, it's something that the referee should have made as a decision. He definitely should have called it, but he did not. So I'm expecting because it was not the first time that he made a back call in this game. But at the end of the day, what can you do? I think everyone that watched the match knows that the referee made a mistake there, that Milan deserved a better call than that. Definitely, I don't think it was a penalty shot, but it was definitely a free kick outside the box there. Baca scissor kick, fucking waste. Well, to be honest, it's not like he really had a choice. I mean, it was very freelance, I guess you could say, because the time you take to control the ball with your chest, you have to make a decision. And I believe that if he brought it down, the defender was on him there. I don't think he could have done anything better, to be honest. Yes, Jack Bonaventura looks like he's out of form. He hasn't been his best self in this opening fixtures of the season. I think that he could do better altogether. Definitely, Bonaventura hasn't been playing well like he did last season. He's less creative, less influential to the team in general. Hopefully, he does better in the games to come. Do you think that a 4-4-2 would work better with Niang as a striker and Bona as a left mid? Definitely, Bonaventura will have more ability. But even then, many times I see that the players don't even keep their positions. So it's not about formations all the time. I believe that even though he's not really playing as a left winger for that instance, he still moves very freely on the wing. He's just not putting the performance that I'm expecting for him on many occasions. Could it be that the formation that's causing problems? Honestly, no, Clayton, because look, we've been playing pretty good in these past few games. It's not a formation. I think it's more a thing about discipline and perseverance. That's something that I don't see from Milan very on the field. Many times we're always playing the role of Mr. Nice Guy, and that is exactly what teams do. They like when you're playing like that. They take advantage of that, and that is why many times we're inferior to other teams. So, guys, send in some more questions before I sign off. Do I think that Locatelli is ready to play week in and week out? I don't think that he's ready to play week in and week out. And also, I don't think that Montella will be playing him that often. I like how he comes on certain moments, and he does well for Milan. I think that he could be influential if he does come off the bench like that. And so much of him. But for what he's shown so far in these games, I have to say that he's been doing quite well. Do I think we should sell De Gio and play Antonelli regularly? I mean, this is the question I get so many times. De Gio is one of those players that he's not consistent enough throughout the years. He's very inconsistent. Antonelli plays way better, in my opinion, and he deserves to start as a left back. But maybe Milan should consider selling De Gio. Maybe they could get a good deal for him. Clayton says, I think it's the quality of the players. It's not good enough. Well, we definitely don't certain teams. That is why sometimes we make very stupid mistakes. But slowly but surely, hopefully we continue on that road and we actually get some decent results, some wins in the future. Next week we're playing Sassuolo, so that's going to be a hard match. But this is road at all costs. Decent match, not very good in the first half. His crossing needs to be better. I always say this every time our fullbacks are going forward to cross the ball. I find we always have many issues with crossing. It's almost like the players are blind crossing. They just cross for the heck of it. And they just cross. So we need to obviously improve. I think if Baca has someone playing next to him, you could be more dangerous on the offensive phase. Well, I mean, it's not like Baca's not really playing with no one next to him because he does have Niang and Suso next to him. But I know what you're trying to say. And disagree at the same time. I think he needs support from both sides. If he's playing with a 4-4-2, he's not really going to be getting that. And it's going to be a lot more creative action for him. I think that I think it's good when he has two guys next to him like he has right now. All right, guys. Thank you all for sending in your questions. That's going to wrap it up for today's live stream. Once again, the final scoreline was Fiorentina 0, AC Milan 0. Next match will be against Sassuolo next week at the San Siro. Don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan from reaching 10,000. So if you haven't yet, please do so. I'll catch you guys later for another video. This has been Gio signing off. And as always, Forza Milan.